Is it just me, or whenever I play a game, I sometimes wonder what got cut out, and when I end up looking for it, it turns out to be not really needed for the story, or the opposite, but at times I find something darker. From cut endings to jump scares and even dialogue, this is cut content, cut for being too disturbing to audiences and even risking a ban in multiple countries, and also our key topic of the video. This video does contain spoilers for a lot of games, so if you are getting into some of these games, I urge you to skip certain parts of this video to avoid said spoilers. Better to Sleep refers to the initial version of the last episode of Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 2, which I am a massive fan of, by the way, which is a game based on the Walking Dead comic universe where your choices affect the story, for the most part anyways. Because Telltale games, you could make one choice and it doesn't do anything at all. It still play out the same. And it was released in 2013. The episode itself was created during an old version of this game's development, and the plot of this episode is fairly limited, but what we do know is that the ending was going to be a lot disturbing than what is in the final game. And the actual ending is it's pretty tense as it is. So, we're gonna find out what it is now. The ending forces the player to pick between two choices. However, to pick between Clementine, who is the main character, leaving a baby named AJ behind in the freezing cold winter, since he's dragging Clementine behind, or the other option is to stay with AJ and go to sleep, which results in both Clem and AJ dying due to hunger, thirst, or even hypothermia. It is alleged that as they die, Clementine sits down holding AJ while she cries. The ending was made since the devs didn't know if they would get a third game, and if they didn't, there was a send-off for the characters. However, the ending was cut due to it being way too dark for obvious reasons. You're killing off two kids over it. Of course it's too dark. There is a little more creep factor to this episode, since we have the actual episode select screen music still. It's genuinely one of the most eerie things you will hear from any video game. Take a listen. The track further invokes the loss of hope from Clementine and the cold and dark reality of the entire situation of the apocalypse dawns on her as she realizes how much her life has changed over the course of 2 to 3 years, and the fact that she has lost everything, from her parents and her guardian Lee, who was the main character of the first game, who died protecting her, realizing that after Lee's death, everything would only get worse. And she begins to feel like it's her fault as everyone else starts to drop like flies. I know that was a bit fucked up, but it's true. This game was initially going to show how Clementine has fucked up big time for the fact she technically caused Lee's death by getting kidnapped in the back end of the game, which caused Lee to get bit. It was going to show that because of the kidnapping, or like I said earlier, everything got worse for her, and it pointed to it being her fault. Luckily, we didn't get that, because that would have been one fucked up game, especially after that ending of the first game being so emotional. Mr. Friendly is a cut enemy from the first Half-Life game from the Zen dimension, and its model itself was supposed to be the size of a small horse, along with a very, well, penis-shaped body. I'm serious. Which is intentional, by the way, as there are a lot of sexual looking enemies in the game, such as the Gonarch, which is the combination of a monarch spider, and the Gonads, which are just balls. And it releases little white baby head crabs, which is man juice. Why? Bro! Mr. Friendly would crawl with horse-like legs on its back and more thinner legs in front, and it would move very uncomfortably. It would eat the corpses of the dead, possibly other Zen creatures or the HECU, or even scientists for that matter, excluding just enemies if it was the case. But it was mainly an aspect created to explain the corpses disappearing, which was due to limitations, as this game did come out in the big 1998. It was similar to the fog in Silent Hill, which was created because of the PS1's rendering capabilities of the vast world, so there will be a smoother loading experience, which doesn't ruin the immersion, and also obviously adds the creep factor to that franchise, and ever since, fog's been a massive part to Silent Hill. Anyways, the creature would attack the player by smacking the weapon out of its hand, and even possibly would knock Gordon's glasses off. Gordon's the main character of both Half-Life games, excluding Half-Life Alyx, because that's obviously a person called Alex. Wow, really? That's crazy. Anyways, they would knock Gordon's glasses off and give the player blurry vision, but was too challenging to add because of limitations. The most controversial attack it would do is it would have... I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. It would have raped the player to death. I'm not joking. He would have literally raped Gordon Freeman to death. That's where he gets his name from. It would also stand up on its hind legs and vomit acid. Mr. Friendly was based on a concept art by Ted Bachman and was intended to be a boss-like enemy. Managing director Gabe Newell, who's also the big man of Valve, like CEO, I believe, yeah, liked the idea so much, and the enemy's behaviour was expanded, with which I talked about earlier. Mr. Friendly's perverted behaviour was intended to scare the game's target demographic, teenage boys, from performing sexual acts before the appropriate age. It was cut for unknown reasons, but it is probably because its nature and actions were considered too extreme for the time period, or even now for that matter, and could have possibly warranted an adult-only rating, which is absolutely terrible for video games, because usually adult-only games don't really sell that well. From what I've seen anyways. Resident Evil 4 is the 2023 remake to the fantastic 2005 game by Capcom. Honestly, you will never stop hearing me talk about the original Resident Evil 4. I might make a video of just me talking about how much I love that game. The remake massively expanded on the original story and added or improved on the environment. One big change that would have come to the game was a Chapter 0. It would have been in an expansion of the forest area players were playing at the start of the game of the final release, and we would have been in control of Ashley Graham, the president's daughter that the main character Leon Kennedy would have to save from the game's cult Los Illuminados, located in Spain. There would have been no combat, and we would have been sneaking past Ganados, and we even see another character, Luis Serra, being carried by the Ganados. A chase sequence begins and Ashley is then captured, ending this chapter. Funnily enough, we actually see this footage in the reveal trailer that released in 2022. So by the time the game was actually revealed, that this was still being worked on, which is actually kind of crazy to think about how soon it was. From 2022 to March 24th, 2023, was it, when the remake came out? If I'm right, that means I've got no life. It was never confirmed by Capcom why they removed this chapter, but many claim it was to keep the game's focus on Leon, as this is his game. This one's a bit strange, as this is an old urban legend but has truth to it, and had something removed, so that's why it counts in my books. The legend itself refers to the 1993 arcade cabinet game NBA Jam. The game itself included many teams such as the Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, and the New Jersey Nets. The Nets had a player called Jam Petrovic. He was a Yugoslavian player on the come-up for being insanely good, and some state he was the best of his time or even the best ever. However, on June 7th, 1993, just a few months after the release of NBA Jam, Petrovic dies in a traffic accident in Denkendorf, Germany, at the age of 28. Shortly after his death, reports of haunted NBA Jam cabinets start to come in that would yell Petrovic out of nowhere during demo mode.
This only started happening after his death, which made people believe the machine was haunted. The truth of this legend is that although all this stuff did happen, it wasn't because of the fact that Petrovic started haunting the cabinets. It was because of the fact that there was something wrong with the software, according to NBA Jam's game designer, Mark Turmel. And because of this issue, in all future versions of the game, like as in home releases and even modernized arcade cabinets, have the Petrovic line and him as a character removed from the game, along with another late player named Reggie Lewis. A little fun fact, in my town's library, we actually have arcade games in the library, and one of them is actually NBA Jam. I may go and see if this is an authentic 93 one or a new one. If it is the 93 one, expect to see a short or even TikTok showing the game in demo mode. If not, I'll post something, but I'll be a bit more disappointed. Pizza Tower is a platformer game released in 2023 by indie dev team Tour de Pizza. In Pizza Tower, you play as a pizza chef known as Peppino Spaghetti, who climbs up a pizza tower in order to save his pizzeria from destruction. The game has 20 levels, each being unique in theme and game mechanics, like a cemetery with a surfable corpse, and even a FNAF homage with Jumpscares. The level with the Jumpscares is the level known as Don't Make a Sound. This level has a total of 3 Jumpscares, caused by getting caught by sentient mascots. Wow, this is really FNAF inspired. I think I want to play the game now. However, there was to be a 4th one that looked like this. I only just found out, but there's actually a few more models, allegedly. Here's what they look like. Back to the video. This one looks just like the FNAF games, due to the fact that this is pre-rendered just like the same animatronics from FNAF. It gives me a little bit, and many others, some nostalgia from the FNAF days, and even scares me a little bit. Imagine being caught by this thing, reminding you of a childhood horror years later. Honestly, I still have nightmares about FNAF 4, and that game scared the fuck out of me. It was allegedly cut for 2 reasons. Number 1 being that the game creator and Tour de Pizza co-founder, McPig, didn't think the model was polished enough, and allegedly the modeler refused to update the models, so McPig cut them. Second reason being that McPig believed that the art style clashed with the theme he was going for, which I disagree with, because it still fits perfectly. Even if the game itself is 2D, you could let this slide for one level. If you want a FNAF adjacent level, I think it would be better to have the pre-rendered models, in my opinion. It really gives that FNAF feel. And also the models still have the same like overall shape, but they're in a 3D way. They're not in 2D, they're in 3D. So I don't think that McPig's opinion on it being a clash was correct, but it's his game, so you know what? I'm not gonna chastise him for it. You know, his choice. And if anyone is a Pizza Tower fan who just seen this, please tell me if I got anything wrong. I've never played Pizza Tower a day in my life. If you've made it to this point of the video, thank you very much. I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I never really asked this, ever. I've not asked for a like and subscribe in months. Maybe because I forgot to do it and I feel a bit scummy whenever I do. But I really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you are interested in this channel, hit that subscribe button. It's free. I have no memberships. I don't think I'm ever going to have memberships on this channel, because I'm a bit nice like that, you know. And also, follow my socials. I've never really told you guys to follow them, but please do. The more traction I get on socials, the more likely I'm going to post horror adjacent content on things like my TikTok and Instagram. Because right now on TikTok, I post videos like this. This is a real video I made, by the way. it got like a few thousand likes. It is no small feat. And, you know, you could see other parts of my life, you know, outside of fucking YouTube. You know, like on like Instagram or something, you could see me like post stories and random TikToks of my Resident Evil sticker bomb bottle. I know it's better than your bottle. You don't have to tell me. Anyways, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.